If you're still filming long, messy videos of your property, stop. You're probably also wasting a lot of time on editing, if you're even editing. So today I'm gonna show you how to film short, intentional clips, how to organize them properly, and turn your property visit into one long, endless media library, which you can repurpose again and again. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Elisa and I help property managers to master modern marketing without breaking the budget. This is part 2 of creating endless media library for your property social media. In part 1, we went over all of the shots that you need to take at the property once you're on site. And as we mentioned before, you only technically need one visit where you can record all your content. So if you haven't seen part 1 yet, go check it out and then come back here so we can cover editing, storage, and repurposing video content. When you're on site, it's important to record multiple POVs, multiple actions, multiple transitions. However, it's very important for future when you edit to keep those videos as short as possible and intentional as possible. So each video clip should be around like 3 seconds and it has to attribute for a certain action. For example, if we're filming B-rolls, you're gonna be walking through the living space, 3 seconds max. There's no long storyline in walking through the space. It's just gonna create a certain POV which we're gonna add to our video. We want to turn the light on and off, 3 seconds. We're gonna open the door, come in, 3 seconds, no more, even shorter when possible. So each action should be its own separate short clip. Why is it important? Because whenever you're gonna open your media library, once you're editing, you want to see right away, oh, I'm gonna use this clip where I open the door. Then I'm gonna walk into the hallway. Then I'm gonna open the fridge. So you know right away which video is which action, so you can clip them all together without actually pulling out just one long video and trying to cut it in pieces. It's gonna save you so much time editing and it's gonna make the action much more enjoyable because then you have all those different clips with different actions which you can mix together in different ways for different videos. These videos can be used for voiceovers. These videos can be used for property overviews. You can use them as educational videos and use them as overlays. There's so many ways that you can use those different shots, but it's really important to keep them as short as possible and intentional. Now let's talk about storage and where to keep your media library. First of all, if you're filming on your phone and you're the primary person who edits those videos, I highly recommend creating a separate folder for a specific unit or for the property itself. If you manage multiple properties, you want each property to have its own folder. So for that way, you can easily open your editing app and then go straight to the folder where you have all your clips already saved on your phone. However, if you're working with a team and you have other people who needs access to your media library, make sure to create a shared folder with your team on your space. Property name. Once you have the property name, you also want to create a folder of the specific unit. So then you're gonna add all the specific unit material that you have there. Then you're gonna create another folder which is called amenities. In the amenities folder, you're gonna save everything that is related to amenities. If you filmed your neighborhood, you're gonna create a folder called neighborhood and then there all your necessary clips. If you have drone shots, again, you're gonna create a folder for drone shots and you're gonna add everything there. And then you wanna make sure that you structure your folders properly. For example, if you manage multiple properties, you're gonna start first with the property name. Next, we're gonna talk a little bit about the B-rolls. For B-rolls, I also like to create a separate folder because those can be used for different overlays, for explanation, educational videos, property overviews, and you wanna remember exactly where they are. With B-rolls, it's usually gonna be you or someone else, like using the space. So you have all the content for your B-rolls dedicated in B-rolls and you can always use it for different intentions. Bottom line, you want to keep all your footage as your media assets. This is why it's super important to keep it organized, especially if you're working with a team. Now let's move to the fun part of editing the videos. But actually, before even editing the videos, something that I like to do personally is to create a list of all the content ideas that I can create from my media library. Everything that I currently have, I can create like 3 property highlights with 3 different captions that I can think about. Then I know I can definitely create a walkthrough, and then maybe I can create like a special video specifically about the amenities. So I write down everything that comes to my mind right away and I know I can edit it. and then post it on social media. Once I have the list of ideas that I come up with, I like to go to my phone and just do a quick search of what is currently trending, what people are posting in my field or in general, and see how I can change the trend and apply it to real estate, to property management. So then I basically like walk through everything that is trending. I copy I copy the ideas on my list, and then I can actually start working on editing. You always want to make sure that your video has a beginning, a culmination, and an ending. You want to treat it as a storyline with a beginning and an end. Again, make sure that you're delivering like a certain story, but it is a complete story. For video editing purposes, I like to use CapCut. They have a free version which works perfectly if you are just starting to editing videos. It's super beginner friendly. Once you kind of master the technology, you can maybe pay for a premium version, but you don't have to. And also, if you need extra help editing videos on CapCut specifically for real estate, I have another video which I'm gonna link. Now, in your video editing app, you're gonna open the media clips that you have selected specifically for the storyline that you're gonna edit at the moment. So for example, let's say we want to highlight our amenities. So I'm gonna add all my amenities into the project that I'm working on, right? I wanna have a beginning, and I also want to have like an ending. So for the beginning, the first 3 seconds, I wanna make sure that I have either a good hook or have like a provoking image. So for example, we have this amazing pool. So I'm probably gonna start with the pool instead of going to all the other amenities, which might be a bit boring compared to the pool, right? So you always want to start with something like shocking, provoking, or like an interesting hook at the beginning, and then continue your story. Whenever you add all your clips, obviously you want to make sure that you trim them accordingly. If you're doing a voiceover, so you want to record your voiceover and match the clips to the voiceover you're making, and also obviously make sure the duration fits all those moments. If you're just adding a popular sound, you also want to make sure that it matches the beats of the sound. If you're doing like a funny trend, again, you want to make sure that everything matches the sound with the video, with the imagery. And then on top of that, you can also add some captions, you can also add some voice effects, anything that's gonna make your video stand out just a little bit more. And then once you're done editing, you can export your video, post it on social media, but this is not where it ends. First of all, you can always go back to this project and rearrange some of those clips. You can always change the caption, you can always change the sound, and then you have the same project in a different manner, and you have a whole new video which you can use later on again on your social media. And this is the power of repurposing and doing it like a pro. Repurposing is the secret of staying consistent on social media. Even if you have a video clip, you can always turn it, for example, into imagery and post it as an image carousel. If you're doing an educational video content, you can also use it and turn it into imagery and post it as informational photo carousel on your social media. You can always turn it into a LinkedIn post or post it on Twitter or any other platform that you are utilizing. If you have a website blog, you can always post it on your website blog as well. And this is basically the whole game, where you go on site, you create all your content in one day as much as possible, and then you have your media library which you can use for your endless content for your social media, just by repurposing those clips in different manner and changing captions, music, voiceover, the story behind it. Trust me, this system will save you hours in a week in terms of editing and creating content. And it's gonna give you endless opportunities to create content without having to go on site and film more. Don't forget, at the bottom I have a link to my free checklist of everything that you need to shoot once you are on property, all the different POVs, all the different shots that you want to make sure that you have once you're there, so you can create your own media library for your property. If you find this video helpful, make sure to subscribe and hit the ring bell. If you still have more questions, make sure to drop them in the comments. I'll be happy to address them.